If you watched YouTube from the years 2014 to 2016, you probably know about LeafyisHere. And if you know about Leafy, you probably know how he went down. By the time he uploaded his last video around a year ago, he was known as a notorious bully who relentlessly picked on smaller channels, sending his army of edgy teens after them. He had become one of the most hated creators on the platform, and rightfully so. But am I the only one who sensed a change in YouTube after he left? Beginning in 2017, YouTube started implementing new policies which transformed the way the entire website worked. And with this transformation came a huge shift in those websites' content and people. Looking deeper into this shift, I found that Leafy's style of content had all but died. In short, Leafy represents everything YouTube has lost these past couple of years. Before I get into the meat of this video, I would like to thank Lemon for his amazing video of the rise and fall of Leafy. This 51-minute documentary covered about every aspect of Leafy's career, and helped me a lot in coming up with the points for this video. It's also important to provide some context for this video. At the end of his documentary, Lemon postulated that Leafy didn't die naturally or because of content cop. It was actually YouTube himself that killed him. Let me explain. A couple of months before the demonetization policies rolled out, YouTube executives held a meeting about undesirable creators, and public enemy number one was, you guessed it, Leafy. During this meeting, the executives discussed how to remove channels that they didn't like. Back then, they didn't want to terminate channels for fear of censorship accusation, a position which they've obviously not kept, but they decided on another course of action. Anyone familiar with demonetization knows that it just doesn't remove the ability to make money from a video, but it also negatively impacts your video's ranking in the algorithm, making it hard for your video to get into recommended sections. Lemon believed that YouTube implemented an early version of this system upon Leafy's channel, essentially clogging his views. If you want to hear more about this, I totally suggest to check Lemon's video on it, link is in the description. But what I've been trying to say is that YouTube didn't just kill off Leafy's channel, they basically killed the parts of YouTube he represented, starting with... The appeal of early YouTube was the idea of rags to riches. Unlike television or movies, where the participants were perfect models plucked straight from Beverly Hills or some boy band, YouTube allowed anyone to be a celebrity. Whether it be some random viral video that granted you 15 minutes of fame, or people who built up their fame over time, YouTube was a place where the common man could make himself seen. Leafy exemplified this. If anybody looked at him before his YouTube career, you'd probably think he would get nowhere. He was just some unattractive guy who came from a family torn apart by drug addiction. But he started making videos, and people started listening to him, and his channel blew up. Say what you want about Leafy, building one of the most influential empires in YouTube history from scratch is no easy feat. But now it seems like YouTube's turned its back on these people. It's clear that now, they choose to use movie stars and former Vine celebrities to represent their website. Not people who built their fame on YouTube, but famous people from elsewhere who just so happen to have a YouTube channel. And what do you think about it? When's the last time a channel exploded into pop culture? I'm not saying that famous YouTubers who came from nothing have all but disappeared, but they've become a lot less widespread. Now, I'm no 13-year-old guy, but it doesn't take the mind of an edgy teenager to realize that offensive content has all but disappeared. Back from around 2014 to 2016, edgy content reigned supreme. Channels like Leafy, Filthy Frank, and iDubbbz really pushed the limit of what was possible of the website. While iDubbbz and Filthy Frank mainly did skits which were satire with a lot of gross humor, Leafy pushed in a different direction: cyberbullying. Leafy's channel was built on making fun of smaller YouTubers, mostly ones that he deemed as cringy. Back during this era of YouTube, cringe culture dominated the website. If you put the word cringe in your title, you were guaranteed to get views. Cringe culture has not disappeared nowadays, but its popularity certainly has decreased, on YouTube at least. You don't see as many Fortnite cringe compilations as you did Minecraft cringe compilations, and I'm actually kind of happy for that. But expanding outwards to edgy content, it seems that if after Leafy left, edge has hit an all-time low on YouTube. It's most likely that YouTube itself had stopped promoting that type of content, and we noticed Leafy's downfall first because he was the flagship for this type of content. Oh, and flagship he was. Leafy's empire of 4 million subscribers was bigger than any other commentary channel at that time. That's almost a third of the population of New York City subscribed to Leafy. Leafy's cynical tone and sneering voice drew edgy 13-year-olds to him like moths to a flame. Back then, Commentary channels made up a huge portion of YouTube, and were the source of cringe culture on the website. While commentary channels certainly haven't died off, them making edgy content pretty much has. And with it, went some of the spirit of YouTube as well. Since the beginning, YouTube has been known as a source for alternative content, something different than television. It's why we saw a bunch of wacky, weird, and sometimes offensive content pop up on YouTube. It was fresh content compared to the boring old shows on TV. And when YouTube started restricting edgy content, it was almost as if they were biting the hand that fed them. Yeah, if content goes too far, which Leafys did at some points, I'm all for removing it. But you shouldn't censor everything that is slightly offensive or has some cursing in it. Edgy content such as Leafys made YouTube stand out in the first place, but it seems as if YouTube prefers wannabe reality TV over fresh and unique content. It's no secret, YouTube drama nowadays is a complete joke. Any sort of drama is completely prefabricated by both parties so that both can benefit from it. They'll drop thousands of diss tracks on each other before possibly engaging in a boxing match that ends in a draw. At this point, you guys have probably figured out that I'm using KSI vs Logan Paul as an example, but bar the boxing match, you basically have every major YouTube drama from 2017 to now. It wasn't like that before. While we may never know whether these dramas were planned out beforehand, it sure seemed like the two parties had some beef with each other. Drama was juicy back then. People would upload rants about each other, they would expose DMs which showed the dark side of whoever they were facing, and bystanders would come forward with personal experiences of one of the parties. At the center of this was Leafy. He fueled and participated in a lot of drama. The ones I specifically remember were his beef with Keemstar, and that one goth dude who cursed him. However, I'm sure that he made much more enemies than that. And while this may be a weird thing to say, even though two people were actually mad at each other in the old dramas, it was much more fun to watch. It felt like it mattered more, and people actually took sides. YouTube especially felt more like a community of people, each with their own flaws. And like everything else in this video, the downfall of Leafy led to a downfall of this type of drama. Now with the polished garbage they try and pass off as drama, YouTubers don't use drama to try and express frustrations about other people, they do it to boast their own popularity and ego. So what do I take out of this? Am I asking for Leafy to come back? Well, not really. There's a reason why Leafy was one of the most hated YouTubers when he left the website. He was a bully who promoted a culture of toxicity. But as time has passed, people realized that Leafy represented an era of YouTube where the website was more authentic, more the voice of the people. But now YouTube has become a more corporate entity, pandering to talk show hosts and movie stars. Looking in the comment section of that Emplemon video I talked about earlier, a lot of people said that they didn't necessarily want Leafy back, but they wanted the era of YouTube he represented back. Strangely enough, Leafy predicted this shift in YouTube's tone, where they would turn against the creators that made him. But Leafy thought that he would be a bystander, somebody who watched as the website stumbled around him. He never thought that he would be the first to fall.
The end is coming, everybody. I'm telling you right now, the end is coming indeed. Stack up on water, stack up on bread, stack up on your fruit snacks. The end is coming, alright? The end is goddamn coming.
Ha ha ha! Look at this homeless loser. Nothing is gonna happen to as big YouTubers, asshole. Ha 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 ha!
YouTube, please don't shoot me, please don't.
YouTube, please don't shoot.
I told you all. I swear to God, I told you all. I told you the end was coming, and you didn't listen. None of you did. None of you. And now look at you all. You're all dead. You're all fucking...
If Leafy came back, I'm expecting that the YouTube community will be forgiving of him. As long as he reforms himself to be less extreme, and he shows that he learned from his mistakes, he could become a respected YouTuber. But do I think he would change anything by coming back? No. Because even as influential a channel as Leafy is, if he doesn't comply with YouTube's rule, there is no way he'll be allowed back again. As long as YouTube keeps their rules and their attitude about free thought on the website, that era of YouTube, that golden era for which we all long for to come back, will be forever lost. If you made it to this part of the video, thank you. I hope this video got you thinking, or at the very least entertained you. Be sure to subscribe if you liked the video because more like it are coming soon. See ya.